Good morning, Unity family. Happy New Year 2023, the year of rebirth. I have a friend who tells me 2023 it's about being born again. I am Reverend Anna, and it's really a joy to be here sharing this first Sunday of the year with all of you. We are in for a very special service, a service in which we get to set in stone what our God-given desire and vision for our year is. And as you become more aware and committed, we're going to bless you, anoint you, so that you may consecrate whatever is in your heart as your own vision for this year. If you're watching online, please know that we believe that our love is so real that it will be felt even through the net. And those who might watch this service later, same thing applies. From the I Am community, I just would like to just give you a short prayer that really touched me reading it this morning, and it's really about consecration. We consecrate our minds to be one with the divine mind of God. Let's consecrate our hearts to be the open door through which God's comprehensive divine love and limitless abundance will flow to bless us and all life. We consecrate our eyes to perceive the truth and to recognize perfection in all things. We consecrate our hands to bless and heal all that we touch. And we consecrate our life to the divine purposes. We surrender fully in the awareness that our life is our gift to God and that we are truly, truly grateful. Happy 2023, and so it is. Thank you, Anthony. Have some exciting things to share with all of you this morning. And the very first one, as you know, Deepak Chopra will be here as part of his new book tour, Living in the Light. And that's the book that we precisely chose for our winter spirit groups. And that's going to be starting late January, early February. But reason I'm bringing this announcement now is for you to see whether you want to step up your involvement in spirit groups by becoming a host, a facilitator. The wonderful thing is that we give you everything. We support you in the process of learning how to do that. And you will get to communicate and connect with other people by bringing your gift of facilitating this work. If you are resonating with that, please go online and you will see everything about spirit groups. You can just fill out a form and we'll take care of the rest for you. So I hope you can join us for that. And then there's an exciting new course offered by Juan, Reverend Juan, Absolute Abundance. If you're like most of us, the new year is a fresh start to create something new for yourself. This is why we're offering a new course starting January 17th, which focuses on learning and practicing key spiritual laws that can help finally see abundance manifest in our lives in the form of enough money, healthy relationships, and a deep sense of well-being. I know that Reverend Juan is really passionate about this, so when you get somebody really passionate, you know it's going to be great. So please sign up and be ready to change your life this year. I think I'm done, and I'm ready to bring Reverend Juan up to the stage. Good morning, Reverend Juan.
Good morning, Anna.
Okay. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. It is truly amazing to me that we get to begin the new year together. If you think about what it means for us to gather today, to recognize our own divinity, be in spiritual community, be connected to each other, what a great way to begin the new year, and what a great way of saying, Spirit, here I am, ready to experience more of this in our lives. And so thank you for already making my 2023 amazing. How many of you also are having an amazing 2023 already? Come on, put it out in the universe, right? Like, it's 2023 for me is going to be a year of recognizing, affirming, and celebrating the miracles, big and small. And if you think about it, a couple of us actually from the staff were talking about it. Scientifically, it is a miracle that not only are we here gathered, but that we are here in this body. Really, the science behind all of our ancestors meeting so that we can be here gathered today, it's practically the zero chance of it happening. So the mere fact that we are alive, the mere fact that we are willing to be with each other and in community, and the mere fact that we are here saying yes to God is a miracle. Let that be the miracle that begins off this new year as we come and celebrate together. Now, if you are new to Unity on the Bay because it was one of those intentions that you had to be involved in spiritual community, to deepen your own spiritual journey, we'd love to get to know you more. There are different ways in which we can do that. So if you follow the prompts that are on the screen, if you're here in person and just want to handle that through your phone, or if you're watching virtually, you can just follow the prompts on the screen. If not, if you're here in person, you can go to our welcome center after the service, and we're just gonna share some more information about who we are, get to know you a little bit more so that we can see which are the ways in which we can support you, pray with you, and hold each other as we move into this new year. And for those of you who have been coming for a while, and some people are asking, well, wait a minute, how did you make 2022 so fabulous? And how are you making 2023 so amazing? You can say, I go to Unity on the Bay. And if they ask, well, what is that? We are the 3 Ps. Let's see if some of you remember. What are some of the wait, are they behind me already? All right, well, Jason's letting you start off the new year pretty easy. Well, Unity on the Bay is positive, progressive, and practical. I just love feeling the energy in the room, don't you, this morning? And you know, I was talking to a friend yesterday who was watching virtually, who was just saying that even virtually, like, they were just feeling the energy of this community. How palpable it is, how powerful it is. And so let's gather in that energy and let us go into prayer. Like taking a deep breath, grounding ourselves in this new year, grounding ourselves in an understanding of the very presence of God that is alive in us and as us, to remember that we are the place where God is, to remember that our lives are the places where God expresses itself. Love, light, wholeness, prosperity, abundance, all those things that we have said yes to, living more fully into in 2023, they already are here. They already are our natural state of being. And so we open our hearts and we open our minds to saying more fully, yes, yes to this new year, yes to the power, yes to the consciousness, yes to the energy, yes to God. For this is a year of miracles. This is a year of power and abundance and prosperity. This is a year where we finally remember fully, without being swayed, that we are a blessing and that our lives are already blessed, for we have said yes to the power of God in our lives, and we have said yes to being the light of the world for all of humanity. Thank you, God, for this brand new year, the divine potential in us, and our ability to step fully into it and embody our truth. This is the brand new day of a brand new year of a brand new us. So it is, as we let it be, and the people rejoice and say, amen. Let us have a wonderful Sunday and first of the year experience.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Reverend Juan. You're all fired up, and I love it. So, good morning, Unity on the Bay, and as I like to say, Happy New Now. So, yes, right? It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the center of the stage, Nicole Yarling.
Happy New Year, everyone. And I think we're all unwritten today. We're starting with a clean slate. Everybody, right? So. I am unwritten, can't read my mind, I'm undefined. I'm just beginning, the pen's in my hand, ending unplanned. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you could not find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibitions, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten. I break tradition. Sometimes my tries are outside the line. We've been conditioned to not make mistakes, but I can't live that way. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the word that you could not find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest still unwritten. Staring at the blank page before you, open up the dirty window, let the sun illuminate the words that you could not find. Reaching for something in the distance, so close you can almost taste it. Release your inhibition, feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins.
Feel the rain on your skin.
No one else can feel it for you, only you can let it in. No one else can speak the words on your lips. Drench yourself in words unspoken. Live your life with arms wide open. Today is where your book begins. The rest is still unwritten.
Wow, thank you so much. It is time to read the daily word, but before I do that, I would love for you to hold this vision of all the people who are reading the daily word today, the first day of the year, and all the people that are joining in around the planet to hold the highest for humanity as we start a new year. And it's really all about a fresh start. I begin this year with renewed enthusiasm and a fresh perspective. I feel vibrantly alive as I realize all the love, energy, and strength is mine to express in my life right now. Grateful for lessons of life experience, I released past disappointments with a forgiving heart. I find harmony in my relationships as I look beyond differences and focus on the divine life and love that unite all people. I go about my work seeking to serve others with a humble heart. And I find ways to develop and evolve my skills and nurture my talents, allowing me to continue to grow and learn. This year, I will thrive in all areas of my life as I feel God's presence everywhere I go and in everything that I do. Today's daily word is inspired by Luke 21:5. And the one who was seated on the throne said, "See, I'm making all things new." And so it is.
I know some of you are like, wait, what's going on? So today's service is a little special, right? We have our White Stone ceremony. And so I'm going to share with you a few words, and then afterwards is when we're actually going to be doing our meditation. And I'm really excited and touched that as part of the meditation, we're also going to invite you to be anointed with some oils that we have here. And so this is a really wonderful, special service and a great way to kick off the new year. Now, before I continue, though, I do want to say, so some of you may not be familiar about what spirit groups are. And so let me share with you that spirit groups, it's about 6 or 7 weeks where people come together in homes or virtually, focus on a specific book. And Reverend Anna mentioned that we're using the Deepak Chopra book, Living in the Light. And I want you to hold a vision, because normally we have about 100 or so people that join our spirit groups program, which is amazing in itself. And we're going to kick off this program just a couple of weeks after we have about 900 people at the Deepak Chopra event. And so we really are inviting you to join us as hosts. You're really just a host. You're helping move along the book study, and you have the questions that we provide to you. But can you just hold a vision of hundreds and hundreds of people that may never have been to a Unity on the Base service joining our spirit groups after that Deepak Chopra event and realizing the power of this community? Can you feel that? Can you see the potential and the opportunity in it? And you get to be a part of it. So really check in and let us know if there's even an inkling of you wanting to be one of our hosts. Now, I was looking up jokes for the new year. And can you believe that there was one that actually just said, this year I promise not to make any corny jokes, said all dads everywhere. And I felt attacked. So I've got one for you, and let's see if this is the right way to kick off the new year or something that we're just gonna have to grow through this year, okay? Knock, knock. Radio. Radio not, it's the new year. Isn't it wonderful to know that as new things come about, some things stay the same? All right, I got another one. Now, this one you've heard before, but when somebody needed a boat made, what did the people in the town say? I know a guy. It's getting worse? Okay. All right, let's just move on. Maybe that's the motto for the new year. When something's not, let's just move on. But so today, as part of our Whitestone ceremony, we really are here to acknowledge the power of having a new name, holding a new name, asking ourselves how we want to be called, how we want to call ourselves. Because this is really about recognizing that who we have been is not who we are. And we have a chance as we begin this new year of really putting a vision out there of what we want to embody, how we want to show up in this new year, how we want to show up in the world for ourselves and for other people. And how we call ourselves, the name that we allow ourselves to receive, is a really important and beautiful piece of that. Actually, in the Bible, there are many instances where a renaming is really an expression of recognizing that there's been an awakening, that something has shifted within us, within the people of the Bible. And so, for example, Abram, once he had his awakening experience, started to be named and called Abraham, which meant father of many, as God had promised him to be. Sarai, which meant actually quarrelsome, when she had her awakening, became known as Sarah, which means princess. The same from Saul to Paul, Paul meaning humble, which is totally the opposite of what Saul, the tax collector, was. And then Simon, when he listened, Simon means listen, he listened to Jesus, to trust in him, to follow him. And as he did and had his awakening and his spiritual journey took place, at the end was named Peter, which means rock, solid in that faith. And so the question for all of us is, what sort of awakening experience are we ready for? What is taking place in our hearts? What is taking place in our minds? What are we allowing ourselves to really step into in this very moment? Not tomorrow, not, in November when we look back on our 2023 intentions, like, which ones do I still need to check off? But this very moment, what are you ready to be rebirthed into? And in that, what can we use as a way of reclaiming or claiming this new destiny and this new way of being? And in society, we have a lot of this, right? Because names or titles mean something. A captain, moms, dads, grandparents, brother, sister, colonels, chiefs, right? Like, there's all these titles and names that we give people to signify who they are and what they're about. This new year is a new us. Like, really take that in, really acknowledge the power of being in this place of saying, I am ready, I am open, I am willing to step into a new way of being, one that maybe I had envisioned, but I wasn't ready for. But today, we get to claim that we are, in fact, ready. Imelda Shanklin, one of our Unity writers, said, someday you will become wholly awakened to your divine identity and will begin to consciously take on the image of perfection. In this moment, how much of your divine potential are you ready to claim? And when you think about what this new year is going to be and this new you is going to be, how much of that is based on the way in which God sees us? How much of that is based on our divine identity, and how much of it is based on a false way of seeing ourselves by the judgments and limitations that we have placed on ourselves? If you look at some of the resolutions that we have, which are wonderful, right? Like some of mine, which if you've been around New Year's Eve services before, you've heard them because I kind of have it every year, but lose weight, right? But, like stepping into new roles, stepping into new ways of being, like whatever your intentions are, they're wonderful to have. And are they the reason or the things that you will be defining yourself from? Or resolutions, visions are supposed to help us and anchor us, but are we going to define ourselves, and are we going to identify ourselves by our own divinity, by the very power of God that resides in us, by the very activity of that Christ consciousness that this morning and this year we have been given a new opportunity to embody more fully. Now, in a couple of days, for example, we're going to be celebrating New King's Day, right? The Three Kings Day. And the three kings really followed this North Star to see what was going on, to go into and recognize that Christ's presence that had been born. And I love that we have first, we celebrate Christmas, the birth of that Christ essence within us, that reminder of that. And then we get to, okay, well, now that we are claiming that rebirth for ourselves, we kick off to a new year. And then with the Three Kings Day celebration, we are reminded that we can bring all of ourselves into this new light that is being birthed in us. And the three kings followed this North Star. I mentioned this yesterday for those of you who are a part of our New Year's Eve service. Having the vision, right? Yesterday we created a vision of who we are to be, how we are to be in the world, what is God's greatest vision for ourselves. And so we have this vision that is pulling us. I love when Reverend Anna was talking about the part of the release is being able to then let go of some of that weight so that we can lift ourselves up and lift our vibration up to the space of spirit. And so we have this vision that pulls us, and we make ourselves lighter to be pulled into that vision. And then today we get invited to have that North Star. That's how I see the white stone and the new name that we're going to receive today. What is the North Star? In order for us to fully live into that vision, what is it that is going to carry us there? What is it that's going to support us in being able to step into it? And so as we look at that life that we want to have in the new year, a life of gratitude, yes. A life of abundance, yes. A life of love, a life of recognizing the blessings and the miracles in our lives and the blessing and the miracles that we get to be in the world. Well, that's a wonderful intention and a wonderful vision. How are we going to anchor ourselves in our truth so that we may not be swayed when challenges come up, when life begins to happen in a way that we may not have recognized or not seen, or maybe not even wanted it to happen, and yet we can be anchored. And I love the white stone ceremony for that, because it is an anchoring that takes place and it comes from within us. What are the steps that you can take to be able to live into your truth? From Revelation, which is where we get this ceremony, Revelation chapter 2, verse 17, it says, "Let anyone who has an ear listen to what Spirit is saying to the churches. To everyone who conquers, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give a white stone. And on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it." This Bible verse says a lot. First, it says, let anyone who has an ear listen to what Spirit is saying. And it says the churches, right? Well, we know that we are the church of God. We individually are that church of the Holy Spirit and that Christ presence. And so this verse really invites us to recognize that there are different ways in which we can listen. We can have our ear to what is going on in the world of senses, and we can choose in this very moment to open up more fully that inner ear, to listen to the wisdom of God that is in us, to listen to the guidance of God that we know is a part of our truth. And so, where do we want to listen? How do we want to listen? And how can we, in this very moment, open up our ears more fully to be able to listen to the beautiful music that I believe God is singing in us? And then it goes into talking about to everyone who conquers. What is it that you want to conquer in this new year? There is something that I believe all of us can really conquer. something that we need to and can move through. Maybe you have to conquer a fear that you've had. Maybe in order for you to really live into your vision, there is a fear or a distrust or a negative judgment that you've held about yourself that must be conquered, that must be done away with. That, well, like I shared with you a couple of Sundays ago, right? Like when it starts to come up, that fear, that judgment, like that's the old me. It's not the new me. That's 2022, Juan. This is 2023, Juan. Anchored in faith, anchored in the way of being, anchored in the God of my being. And so we can develop this inner listening quality by simply being in the stillness, by taking a moment, taking a breath. I'm going to invite you to just do that in this moment. Just take a deep breath with me. It's as simple as that. In the midst of the world, in the midst of the challenges, in the midst of the beautiful miracles in our lives, to be able to just take a moment to breathe and to listen. And sometimes we'll hear words. Sometimes we just listen to the silence, to the pause, to the energy that already is. And I really invite us this new year to recognize that we are overcomers. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit for the way that we have already overcome. If you think back on 2022 and even beyond that, the many different challenges that we have experienced, and here we are. Here we are, regardless of those challenges, or maybe as a result of those challenges, being ready to say, I am willing, I am open, I am receptive, and I am listening, God. I am here listening. And the more that we listen, I really believe that we can be a living testimony to the power of God. That our stories of overcoming can be somebody else's survival guide. Because through the miracles and the ways in which we experience God and the way we show up in life, we can be that light for others when they may not feel like they have enough to be able to overcome what is coming their way. In 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7 says, "For God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of self-discipline." This morning, can you claim that you have a spirit of power? Can you claim that you have? I love that. Thank you. Let's follow through. Remember what I said? We can be somebody else's, we can be that testimony, right? So thank you for that testimony. And can we claim that we have the spirit of power within us? Can we claim that we have the spirit of love? And the moment that we can claim those things, the moments that we can listen to God and we are saying yes to fully listening this year, is the moment that we get promised manna, which is that spiritual nourishment. That spiritual nourishment that only comes from when we make ourselves anchored in God. See, so many times we are in the wilderness, and a lot of times it was in the wilderness when Moses was taking the Israelites into the promised land that we first start talking about manna being that which fed the people. So we may have been in the wilderness, right? Like that may have been our past few years. That may have been last week. And we can already claim that we are beyond the wilderness, that we are beyond that which caused us to feel separate from God, and that we are ready and willing to receive the spiritual nourishment that comes from claiming our truth and claiming that God is our center, is our being. Jesus actually spoke of this manna in John chapter 4, verse 32. He says, "I have food to eat that you do not know about." Well, isn't it time for us to claim that we know it? That we know what that spiritual nourishment is, that we know how that spiritual nourishment is first, is primary, and then from that, it trickles into all areas of our lives. Maybe the vision is better job. Maybe the vision is an intimate relationship. Well, first, the spiritual nourishment that comes from being centered in God, and then it trickles into every other area of our life. The second promise in that scripture is the white stone. And that's what this ritual is about, right? Receiving that white stone. And the white stone is actually an ancient ritual. It goes back to the times of Jesus. And there's a couple of different ways in which it showed up. One of the ways is that when somebody, went to jail, basically, and was imprisoned, the moment that they came out of prison, they were given a white stone to signify that they had paid their dues, that they had paid their time, and people didn't need to judge them for it, right? Have you paid your dues? Have you paid your time in the wilderness, in the thoughts of lack and limitation, in the awareness or the lack of awareness of our connection with God? Haven't you paid enough? Haven't you done it enough? Don't you want that white stone to say, yes, I am free in this moment from the past. I am free from the limitations. I have paid my time and I am ready to receive my freedom. That is what the white stone signifies for us today. Here's another way the white stone was used in ancient times. The Greeks actually would, when they would take votes, they would either use a white stone or a black stone. Black stone meant no, white stone said yes. Are you a yes this morning? Are you a yes this year? The third promise was then that new name. And again, it's a very sacred thing. And the Bible shows us how it signifies an awakening, something that is, basically makes us new. And God, we know, makes all things new. The moment that we allow it fully into our hearts, the moment that we allow it to be what guides us in our lives. As Abram, as I mentioned, had this spiritual awareness of whose he was and what he was meant to do in the world, he became Abraham. The same with Simon becoming Peter. The question is, who will you be now that you have said yes? Now that you have claimed your freedom? And now that you are willing to say, I have had that awakening experience. I will not let my ego say otherwise. I am simply now just going to live in the light that I know I have birthed into the new world. And it's really about surrendering to that spirit and taking on that identity of who we are, that new name, so to speak, to really anchor us, to make us really aware. And I love that it's on a stone. I was thinking about that this morning. It's on a stone, and I think, Anna, you actually said it earlier. You said it's set in stone. This new name that we have, it's set in stone. How powerful is that it's so set in stone that regardless of what may happen in our lives, we are anchored in it. That regardless of how others may show up or how we may fall short here and there in the new year, that we are anchored in it. It is set in stone. Nothing can keep you from it. Nothing can take it away from you. And nothing can keep you from believing that this is the North Star that will guide you into the vision and the future of heaven on earth. Adashanti says, it is important for us to realize that we must not only have the courage to recognize the divinity within ourselves, but also embody it and manifest it in the way that we live. You are a courageous people. We are a courageous people. It takes courage to be at Unity, to recognize that in our own divinity and in our own journey. I've said this to you before. Spirituality is not for the faint of heart, because it says that we take responsibility for embodying our truth and for manifesting it into the world, for creating the experience and that essence of heaven on earth. But we are it. We have that courage. It's alive in us. I see around the room the power that each of us has. And in this moment, we're going to receive that word on our white stone that will always, throughout 2023, remind us of that power. Following our North Star is how we are then pulled into the vision. And it's how we allow ourselves to be in the flow of limited substance, which we know God to be. We are not the same as we used to be. In my case, thank God. And we are exactly who we need to be in this moment in time to receive what that word that will take us to be that which we were always meant to be. And so I'm going to invite you to just take a breath as we begin to move into our meditation.
Lead me to your consciousness. Make your way plain before my face. For it is you, God only, that makes me dwell in safety. Teach me, Lord, teach me truly how to live, that I may come to know you. And in your presence serve you with passion and sing songs of praise for your glory.
And so I invite you now to take a deep breath. And if you haven't done so already, to gently close your eyes. For in this very moment, we are listening to that inner voice of God. It is a voice that even in the silence, in the pure silence, speaks to us of truth, of love, of the divine potential within us and the divine power that is alive as us. God is here. God is alive within us. And God in this very moment expresses as us, so feel that presence as you. Feel that presence in you and around you. God is our all. Take another deep breath. in our faith. We recognize the wisdom and the guidance that already are a part of that Christ consciousness that we are, that we have been born into, and that we have been reborn into as we have claimed who and what we are. Our divine identity is that of God, God in us, God's power, God's presence. And so in this moment, we give glory to this God of our understanding. Let anyone who has an ear to listen to what the Spirit is saying to the churches. Let everyone who conquers, I will give some of the hidden manna, and I will give a white stone. And on the white stone is written a new name that no one knows except the one who receives it. In this moment, we acknowledge that we have conquered. That we have conquered our fears, our limitations, our perceived limitations. That we have conquered being defined by the world outside of us, and that we are stepping more fully into our own identity as a blessing. And so we let go and we give and surrender to God all that no longer serves this moment. A moment of awakening. A moment of transformation anchored in our truth. Feel yourself being spiritually nourished with that manna. Those divine ideas from the mind of God. The blessings that we have lived. The blessings that we are living. And the blessings that are on their way. If you feel comfortable, I invite you to hold your white stone in your hands and to recognize it as a gift from God, as the expression of your freedom to be all that you have come here to be. Your freedom to choose to know God more fully here and now. And the choice that you are making to be anchored in the awareness of God, of the Christ that we are, and the activity of God as the Holy Spirit in our lives. And so with an open mind and with an open and receptive and ever-expanding heart. We ask that inner wisdom. We ask God itself to give us that one word that anchors us, that one word that is our North Star, that one word that will guide us this year to fully know heaven on earth. Take a deep breath and let us be open to this word now in the silence. As you receive that word, write it now on your stone. Let it be set in stone. Let it be that which carries you forward from this moment on. And as you are ready, and as you are willing, for those who would like to have the anointing, I'm going to invite Reverend Anna to come up, and both of us will be ready here in the front to anoint you. Come as you are ready. The Christ presence guides you this year. Amen. The Christ presence guides you this year, and you live into your power. You are anchored in God, and your life is a blessing.
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. Don't you know that I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. Well, I am light, I am light. Don't you know that I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I've made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dreams I left behind. I am light. I am light. Not the color of my eyes, I am not the skin on the outside, I am not my age, I am not my race, my soul inside is all light. I say that I am light, I am light. Well, I am light, I am light. I am divinity divine. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. We are light, we are light. We are light, we are light. We are divinity divine. We are the God on the inside. We are all stars, a piece of it all. Each and every one of us here today, we are all light. musician. And I like to improvise. So you guys can help us today. As I mentioned, we are all light. So you can sing with us. We are light, we are light. You can sing along. We are light, we are light. Everybody, we are light, we are light. We are light, we are light. First day of 2023, we are light. Our stories unwritten, we are light. We are light. Each and every one of us, we are light. I am not the things my family did, and I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. We are light. We are
No, it's good.
Wow. Are we grateful for this moment? I know that those who are behind the camera, may you feel our love too. For love has no way of controlling and reducing itself, even through the net. Love is. I hope that you stay in that vibration through this day, for this is the very beginning of your year. And let that vibration lead the way to the wonders that Spirit has for you as you have said yes and consecrated that in your stone. Thank you so much for your courage and your commitment and dedication to your spiritual path. And at this very moment, we always have an amazing opportunity to express generosity. And this is the moment. This is the first day, Sunday of the year, in which you get to touch a life by supporting this community. We believe definitely in the law of giving and receiving. And there are many ways of doing it. You can do it even automatically. You can do it by texting. You can raise your hand and get an envelope. As you do, as you're being called to give and bless this community in the very first day of the year, bless it with the love you're experiencing right now. Because it is the love that will multiply that. Recently, somebody asked me about giving a donation, and the person said, hey, it's not much, and I said, nothing that is ever given with love is small. It is the love that gives it power. So we take a moment to just be in that energy of love. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to let the giving be blessed first in you. And then together we affirm divine love. Come on with me. Divine love that I am blesses all that I give and all that I receive. And so it is. And normally towards the end of the service, we always take a moment to bless our children. But today we will include all the children of the world, all the children that we know, and I'm going to be including mine, who are not children anymore, but there will always be. And from that place of connection and energy and awareness, we raise our hands. We imagine the glow and all the children just receiving our blessing. And we say together, children, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. And so it is. Please know that this church and this spiritual community and our movement is really based on prayer. And we have prayer chaplains that are here every week to support you with prayer. there are many times that we tell ourselves, well, I don't really have a prayer request today, I'm good. But it could be a prayer of gratitude. It might be an opportunity for you to stand and say to these prayer chaplains that give themselves to prayer, thank you for holding our community, because they're holding you as you belong to this community. When they pray, they're holding you in the highest place. Reverend Juan, great talk, great beginning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna. I just really want you all to know how grateful we are for all of the ways in which you showed up in 2022 and for the ability that we now have to witness the very blessing and the very miracle that you will be out in the world in this new year. Thank you so much for joining us, for being a part of this energy and this consciousness, and then taking it with you to bless others. With that, I'm going to invite us to stand so that we can affirm our prayer for protection and follow that then with our peace song. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. We are love. The power of God protects us. We are power. The presence of God watches over us. We are presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. We are divine.